All right, 5.3, writing linear equations. The two clues I give you today are you are given 2 points. Like I was just stating, that's why we did that little review worksheet yesterday, because we've done this. This formula right here to find the slope. y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Now remember, this just means that when you have two ordered pairs, 5 and 3, 8 and 2, this is your x, this is your y, x, y. I mean, this could be x2, x1, y2, y1. That's just a labeling for it. That doesn't mean that you take 5 times 2, okay? That's just to distinguish the difference between the two ordered pairs. One from one from the other. So you could go 5 minus 8, 3 minus 2. Or you could do it backwards. You could go 8 minus 5, 2 minus 3, as long as you go in the same direction. Okay? So first today, we have to, because yesterday in 5.2, the slope was given to us. So today, the only thing that we have to do different is find the slope first using this formula. Then to find the y-intercept, you substitute the slope in like we did for the m. And then write an equation. You pick any one of the points that you want. You'll have 2 of them. Maybe I want to use this point. Maybe my neighbor wants to use that point. It's fine. You get to choose which one you want to use, and I'll show you what happens. Write an equation of the line that passes through the points 2 and 8 and negative 5 and 1. So first thing we need to do is find that slope, because they don't tell me m equals. All right, so my slope. Well, let's do the y's on the top first. So x, y, x, y. You want to go 8 minus 1 or 1 minus 8? Okay, from right to left. So 8 minus 1 on the top or bottom? Top, because my y's are on the top. So 8 minus 1 on the top. My x is 2 minus,
2 plus 5.
right, 2 minus a minus 5. So now simplify. 8 minus 1 is 7 over, this turns into a plus 5, because a negative and a negative, so 2 plus 5 is, simplify that slope, we get 1. 1 over 1 or 1. So that equals m. So my m is 1. Now, we are exactly where we were yesterday. Now we have our m, and now we can pick. All right, let's start with this first one. We'll use the 2 and the 8. So what is my y then if I'm going to use this one? If I'm going to use the 2 and the 8, what's my y? Because we start like we wrote our y equals mx plus b. Y is 8 equals, what's my m? We just figured it out. 1 times, what's my x? 2 from that one, plus b. Now we have to find our b. Simplify. We have nothing to do to that side yet. What's 1 times 2? So we have 2 plus b. Any questions to where I'm at right now? Anybody? Yep. Yep, I'm going to show you the difference. Good question. But first, any questions to where I got onto this step here? All right, so now what do I do when I get to this point? Yep, thank you. Good job. We minus 2 to both sides. And now we have what? 6 equals b. So we've got our b now. Find b. What is it? Well, it's 6. So my m is 1. My b is 6. We have one thing left to do, and that is, yep, write the equation.
Y equals 2x plus
2x?
1.
Good, not 2x. Okay, what's my m? Yep, 1x. And then my b plus 6. There's my final equation. That is the equation that those two ordered pairs would go through. Now, let's go write it over to the side. I don't think you have room in your notes, but what happens for those people that would have picked this equation? Let's see. Well, you still use the same slope, but we would start out with y equals mx plus b, but now we're going to be using the ordered pair -5 and 1. So what is y? 1 equals, we still use the same slope that we figured out, which is still 1 times, what's x? -5 plus b. Now I have 1 equals -5 plus b. Yep, nice. Add 5 to both sides. What does b equal?
17.
Does it equal the same thing? So it doesn't matter which ordered pair you pick, you're still going to end up with the same b, or the same, what is your b? Your y-intercept. So you can end up with y equals 1x plus 6. We all end up with the same answer no matter what ordered pair you choose to use. Questions on the first examples? Mm-hmm.
So is this just like what we normally do?
Yep, this is exactly like 5.2, except for we're adding another step now. Okay, I'm not, like, remember the first day? It's like I gave you, okay, your slope is 2 and your y-intercept is -8. Okay, I gave you both. Then yesterday, the day before, I said, here's your slope, but you have to find the b, the y-intercept. Now today you have to find the slope and the b, all right? Because I'm just giving you 2 points. So we're just adding steps. Here's a geometry connection for you all. Slide this over. All this I moved it over for a reason. 2 different non-vertical lines are perpendicular if and only if their slopes are, we talked about this yesterday, right? Negative reciprocals. So if m were to equal 2, what would the parallel slope be to that line?
2.
That also would be 2. What would the perpendicular line of that slope be?
-1/2.
Right. If this is positive, this goes to negative. This is the same as 2 over 1, so we need the negative reciprocal, so you change the sign, and you get 1 over 2. We did those in the last chapter. So, A says, show that A and B and C are perpendicular. A and B. And they want to know B and C. How do I know these 2 are perpendicular? How do I know that there's a 90-degree angle there? How can I tell? What would I do?
Yeah, I could do 4 minus 2.
Okay, so if I think that's what you just said right here. What? Say that again. What's the slope for A?
4 minus 2.
And how'd you get that?
Because
Okay, to get the slope, we're going to want to go from here to here, right? So how many is this? If I start here to go here, is this a plus or minus 1?
it's now you have to
A
plus
minus 1? What would this be then to go up here? A plus 3. So what is my slope there? Rise over run would be 3 over a -1, which equals a -3. That's my slope for this line. What's my slope for this line? If this is perpendicular, what does this one have to be? Not a -3 over 1, but a
positive 3
positive 1 over 3 or positive 1/3. Let's see if that works out then. Are they perpendicular? Prove it. So what is this? If we go to the right, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Plus or minus 6? Plus 6, and then we go up 2, so that's a plus 2. Rise over run, so that equals 2 over 6. Simplify. 1/3. Are these negative reciprocals of each other? Yes. So we just proved that they are what? Perpendicular. Nice job. And we just did that all together there, I believe. Let's go to the next page. Write an equation in slope-intercept form of the line that passes through these points. All right? So what do I need to do first? Find the slope. Unless you're me, I like to label everything. X, Y, X, Y. That way I don't goof up after doing 8, 10 problems. I remember which one's which when I look up there. So on the top, finding the slope. What minus what on the top? On the top? Okay, you want to go 3 minus 1 on the top. That's the majority that I'm hearing. So if I go 3 minus 1, I have to go a -4 minus a -7 on the bottom, right? Haha, good. You're awake, block 1. So what do I put on the bottom?
+4. -7 +4.
A -7 minus a -4, and I already heard somebody say this turns into a -7 plus 4. So simplify this. What do I get on top? 3 minus 1 is
2.
-7 plus 4. Fight. Who wins? By 3. So my slope is a -2/3. You can assign that negative usually to the numerator, but if you want to go backwards on the graph, the denominator. Now we have to find the b. How do I do that? What do I start out with? Tell me what to write.
Y equals mx plus b.
Excellent. Y equals mx plus b. Now let's see. This half of the room right here, you guys use this ordered pair. This half of the room, you guys use this ordered pair. And we'll see if the two sides of the room agree on your b, on your y-intercept. Okay, we have quite a debate going on right now. I've got at least 3 different, well, I put you in 3 groups, so we have 3 different answers right now. And they are negative.
Negative,
14.
no, it's a positive 3 and 2/3.
A positive 3 and 2/3. You guys get a -14, and then I also heard.
No, I changed it because I forgot something.
Okay, all right. So that one's off the table. Let's see. Well, the first thing we need to do is multiply these two, no matter which one you did. Correct? Now, if you multiply those, leave them as fractions, sometimes it's a lot easier. This side stays the same. A negative times a negative is a positive. 2 times 7 is
14 over 3.
14 over 3 plus b.
Minus.
Now, if we go over here, 1 equals a negative times a negative is still a positive.
So 8 over 3.
8 over 3 plus b. Now, if you are on this side, you need to subtract 14 over 3, right? Minus 14 over 3. This is the same as 3 over 1. Remember we did that fraction review worksheet? If I were to make this into something over 3, it's going to be what over 3? 9 over 3. So I have a positive 9 and a negative 14. Fight or no fight? Who wins? Negative by how many? So negative 5 over 3 is what our b is. If we turned that into a mixed number, you would have a negative 1 and 2/3. I don't think any of the groups came up with that. Oh, now the hands go up, sure. Over here. All right, 3, 2, 1. This equation now. You would minus 8 over 3 minus 8 over, oops, 8 over 3. And 1 over 1, to make that, you got, when you multiply or add and subtract, you have to have what? Common denominators. So 1 over 1 is what over 3? 3 over 3. Multiply everything times 3. So we have a positive 3, a negative 8. Fight or no fight? Fight. Negative wins by 8 and 3. 5 over 3, which again equals a negative 1 2/3, no matter which way you do it.
Okay.
Alright, so now you need to write the equation. Y equals, what's our slope? Negative 2/3, which caused everybody problems. Negative 2/3 x minus 1 2/3. Question? Question? All right. Number 2. This half of the room, you do 5, negative 6. This half of the room, you do negative 2, 1. We'll see what we come up with. Okay, first of all, we have to all agree on our slope. Negative 6 minus 1 on the top, 5 minus a minus 2 on the bottom. So this turns to a plus 2. So we have a negative 7 over a positive 7, which gives us a slope of a negative 1. Do we all agree on that?
Yeah.
Okay, so far we're good. So now, that half use this one, that half use this one. When we substitute in this half of the room, hopefully it'll look like this. Right? Did you guys come up with that on this half of the room?
Yeah.
Okay, this half of the room has to come up with this then. Right?
Yeah.
A little easier than the fraction. So what did this half of the room come up with? Negative 1 for your b? How about this half?
Negative 1.
We all agree on negative?
Yeah.
Woo! Amazing what a fraction, how it can cause a debate. Let's see. This turns into what? Good, so we have to do what to both sides? Okay, so we have to plus 5 to both sides. Leaves me with negative 1 equals b. Same over here. 1 equals 2 plus b, so we have to minus 2. We get a negative 1 equals b. So everyone's equation will be y equals, what's my slope? Negative 1x minus 1. Right, one more. Let's all agree on the slope first, and then this half, use this slope. This half, use this slope.
I got
What's on the top for the slope?
negative 9 plus 3.
Minus a minus 3. All over negative 2 minus 6. Turn it into a plus 3. So negative 9 plus 3 is?
Negative 6.
Over?
Over 9.
What's a negative 2 and a negative 6? What is it? Yes, negative 8. So now I have a negative over a negative, which gives me a, turns into a positive. And simplify, we get 3/4. Oh, goody! Another fraction. Woo woo! Look at all the people just jumping for joy out there. So I know my m now equals, my slope now equals 3/4. Y equals mx plus b. Y equals mx plus b. We will all come up with the same y-intercept. Okay, did you guys substitute your numbers in appropriately, like that one? How about over here? Did you get this? If I made a mistake, I didn't do it on purpose. I think they're all in there, right? Now, the good old debate with that fraction in there. We'll see what this half and this half come up with. And how many, before you multiplied, did any of you simplify your fractions, or did you just multiply across? Who simplified? Okay, so if you simplify, you got a -2. 2 goes into here, -1, 2 goes into here, 2. So now this turns into what? -3 over 2 plus b. Then we have to plus 3 over 2 to both sides. Now I need to get a denominator here of what? Because it has a 1 right now, I need a 2 here. And this is negative. So what do I multiply that 9 times?
2.
Right? This was times 2, so I can multiply this times 2 and I get a negative
18.
18. So a negative 18, a positive 3. Fight or no fight? Who wins? Negative by how many? 15 over,
2.
which simplifies to a negative
7
and 1/2, no matter which way you do it.
Oh, I got that.
I got one of that.
Who got it? I see
You
3
got one.
hands, 4, 5.
You did not know.
All right.
Yeah, no one did it. Just
I said
Okay.
from that.
Now our equation then would be y equals 3/4 x minus 7 and 1/2.
Are we done?
This is one.